Okay, I've got two shackles. This one's rated to 15 tonnes. This one is rated to 3¼ tonnes. In this video, I want to explain to you why this one is still stronger than this one. Okay team, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about four-wheel drive rating systems. This is Samson. He's the local killer. We're going to talk about four-wheel drive rating systems. We're going to explain what they actually mean and how it actually works, so you can work out how to actually set up your recovery system properly and safely and know what equipment to actually buy. Okay team, my pledge to you guys is I'm never going to promote or endorse a product I don't genuinely believe in. These are on-track meals. They're an Australian owned and operated company, veteran owned and operated, and all made in Australia. They're all pre-packaged meals, great for hiking, great for motorbikes, great for four-wheel driving. All you got to do is just put the bag in a pot, boil the water for about 3 minutes, and they're ready to eat. Now, they're all gourmet meals, but there's no requirement to refrigerate them. They're not dehydrated, and they've got a shelf life for 3 years, so you can keep in the back of your truck or in your backpack for pretty much as long as you want. Now, I managed to get you guys a discount. All you have to do is head to the website, input the code OP4Wheels, and it'll get you 5% off, or follow the affiliate link down below in the description to get your discount. Okay, so as in the four-wheel drive industry, there's heaps of just marketing BS out there, and it's hard to, especially if you don't really understand how systems work, it's very hard to distinguish what you actually need and what you don't need. Now, there's a lot of hoo-ha about soft shackles and getting rid of hard shackles out of your system. I'm not an advocate for that, basically because they do two totally different jobs, and they're rated in two totally different ways. So first of all, we'll talk about the hard shackle. So this is called a bow shackle, and they're ideal for four-wheel drive recovery as opposed to D shackles, which are less suitable. The reason why they're more suitable is because they've got this bow in them, and then you can hook up to your recovery point and they'll swivel around nicely and just do the job better. The bow shackles and most of your hard recovery systems like bow shackles, your hard recovery points and things like that use what's called a workload limit, and that workload limit is calculated in different ways. It's calculated off what's called a safety factor. So these bow shackles are not actually from the four-wheel drive industry, they're from the lifting and rigging industry. And in that industry they use a safety factor of either 5 or 6. That means that it's going to break, we can expect it to break 5 or 6 times the workload limit of what the shackle is actually rated to. So this is rated to 3¼ tonnes, so you can expect it to break about 5 times that, which works out to be like 26 tonnes or something. So that's the sort of strength of this thing will have just in itself. Okay, now that's the rigging industry. Okay, so but all of your four-wheel drive stuff generally has a safety factor of 2. Okay, so often your snatch pulleys or your rate of recovery points have got a safety factor of 2. These ones are rated to 8 tonnes. This is rated to 8 tonnes. We'll go over this in a second. So you can expect it to break at about 16 tonnes. Now, most of pretty much all, from everything I've seen, all of your soft elements, like your soft shackles or your straps, they all use a thing called MBS, which is minimum braking strength. So minimum braking strength. So what that means is when it's tested over and over and over again, and what they do is they work out what the minimum braking strain is. So what's the least load during testing that they've found that they actually break at. So this one here is rated to 15 tonnes, so they should have tested this piece of equipment over and over and over again. The breakage will vary slightly depending on each soft shackle, because they're never going to be exactly the same. And then they work out what the actual weakest one they had, and that's how they go up with that 15 tonnes. So that's the difference. So workload limit, you know you're safe at that 4.4¼ tonnes, whereas these at 15 tonnes, you can expect it to break. That's the difference. Now, how do you actually tell whether it's actually rated properly? Well, it can be very hard to tell because often they're not worded properly. So this one here, it says working load 8,000 kilos. Well, what's a working load? It's not the correct terminology. Have they tested it? You can hope so. And it's like they've done half a job at trying to actually word it properly, but it's not the correct wording, and therefore it's like, well, is it actually really rated to 8 tonnes? You don't really know. Stuff like these snatch rings, look, they're not going to break. It's just, it's very unlikely. But right, so yeah, again, you don't really know what that's rated to. Now, this strap here, it's rated to. This is what it says. It says 8,000 kilos braking strain, 4,000 kilos safe working load. So safe working load is the old terminology for what's now called workload limit, but braking strain, again, wrong terminology. And these are the things we need to sort out with the four-wheel driver. Just you get everyone on the same page, use the right terminology so people have the confidence to know how things are actually tested properly. Okay, so what does it mean for you as a consumer, or if you're looking to buy a recovery kit, what are you actually looking for? Well, the first thing you're looking for is, I'd look for a kit that is fully decked out with all the gear that you would need. It uses the terminology workload limit in its ratings or minimum braking strain. Also, make sure you get some training in regards to how to set up your recovery system properly. If you do all those things and you're using good solid rated recovery points on your vehicle, you're going to make the whole thing a whole lot safer. Anyway, if you find that helpful, do me a favour, click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.